And good evening, everybody. This is Michael Filighera. I am with logicalsignals.com and also tradershelpingtraders.com. And this is the Elliott wave update for the S&P 500 for Thursday, July 29th, 2021. Well, the S&P actually did go up and make a new all-time high today at 22.50, but it's not enough. And to be honest with you, the pattern up is definitely not a five-wave pattern. So I'm not going to consider this to be the high of all highs for the season right now, but I'm going to consider it a three-wave advance. And therefore, this is wave A, this is wave B, and now we've got a C wave coming down. That's how I'm interpreting this. And that then would likely complete the minor fourth wave that we have been tracking thus far. So what does all that mean for this very near-term picture that we're looking at, particularly on the hourly? Let me try to blow this up with my computer. Does not like to go along with that. Let's try that again. There you go. So you can see the sell-off has been very steep, and that's basically after the close. And that is all due to Amazon's earnings. And Amazon continues to decline here in the after hours. And in fact, the stock, you can see, if we look right, no, not there. If we look right here, stock closed, let's call it 3,600, 8 cents below. It's now 33.36 bid at 33.39. So we're talking that this thing is down 260 bucks. And that's just after, this is on the last 45 minutes. Now, what does that tell us? It tells us, number one, is that we're likely still going to come down further. We need to be able to count 5 waves. And thus far, I'm not really seeing any. Great, I'll go lower when I need to, but I want to be able to count 5 waves down, basically on the hourly, to announce the completion point for this minor 4 and this C wave. So right now we do have support right where it stopped, but again, Globex opens in 50 minutes, 55 minutes, and so that was at 43.96, closed at 97. It's bid a little bit lower, but we'll see what happens once Globex opens. It's going to continue to find support at these levels. I don't feel that support's going to be strong, nor do I believe that that support will complete this pattern. It may complete one of the internal waves. We get a bounce. So don't forget that we have a wave 2 bounce and a wave 4 bounce, neither of which I believe has actually occurred yet. So that's where I think these will come in. We also have support down at the 200-day, and that is at 43.75. But wave C should ultimately get below 43.65. And even if it gets to be 100%, that's not going to be enough. It could stop there. And if it does, and it rallies and we got a 5-wave structure, then that'll have to be accepted and it'll be a small failure, nothing to get too worried about. But I happen to think that since it went up and made a new high above 16, not by much, but $6 is $6, that I think that it has a very high probability of coming down into this zone. And then this would be the level that I would expect it to come to. So that's 43.37. Now, as I look over the other high, large tech stocks, they're all now being marked down. And we can take a look. PayPal being marked down. Let's start up with Apple. Apple being marked down less than $1. Amazon being marked down all on its own because that was the earnings. Then we have other larger PayPal being marked down a little bit from its closing price. Facebook being marked down $5 from its closing price. Google being marked down about $20 from its closing price. So you can see that they're already coming in going like, this is going to be called a tech saddle. This was the last holdout for any hopes that if they blew the doors off, which by the way, I will add, the reason they tore butt into this stock after the close is because their guidance for the third quarter sales or revenue came in at $113 billion versus the street's estimate, which should have been $118 billion. That produced a $100 drop immediately in the stock. Okay, so makes me believe it's like, well, you guys overpriced the stock to begin with. So no matter what, Amazon still made $111 billion in the second quarter. That blows Google's out of the water. Google only did 61.1 billion. Amazon almost doubled that. Not enough for the market. So, but I digress, because we actually just trade what's in front of us. And this is what now the trade and the count is telling me, that we're likely going to go down. That is also going to suggest, because of the speed and the depth that this might get initially, bounces are going to be larger than maybe what you would expect. So please pay attention to your moving averages and follow them, so that when you're trading, you're going to be able to trade every single move. Now, what else we're going to look for? If I take this up and I put it onto the daily, what I want to look at here is what could possibly happen to that daily candle, right? Because right now it's still way up here, but it doesn't really register as quickly, of course, because it's so much bigger. But when we start, if we get down below 43.76, it's actually going to start to toss the daily picture into a more negative frame, and highly suggest that we're likely going to get down to here. Okay, right below that is where that first support is. Now, if it manages to hold above it and then continues to rally up off of it, as they did this time, then we're going to consider this done and the rally's back on. I'll stick a 4 over here and we'll be looking for higher levels. I don't really believe that that's going to be the case, but I have to talk about it simply because it could happen. I think that we're going to probably see some stronger selling tomorrow, unless everyone does it overnight. I don't know. Again, we're going to trade what's in front of us, but I am going to be looking for a little bit stronger of a down day across the board tomorrow, because I think that what this also triggers is a lot of other sellers to come in who may have been holding back because they wanted to see how Amazon would do, and then how the market would react to those earnings, which would then come in to support Microsoft and the other stocks. That still can happen. They may still come in and go like, hey, you know what? It really wasn't that bad, Amazon. And they jump back in and they buy the stock up, which you can see they already have. Somebody's walked in just as I've been talking and bought it up 30 bucks, or they're bidding it up 30 bucks from where it just was. Anyway, so for tomorrow, I am looking for continued downside to get this C wave complete. And I'm going to just go down to a 30 to see if I can count anything in the internal waves. Come on. Let's do that one more time. Thank you. No, it just was all straight down. So I'm going to have to go down even further before I can start to count what was going on the internals in this. But it was pretty much looking like straight, down, down, down. So I need to be able to count 5 waves down. If it all comes in clean like that, then I'm just looking for supports to take care of it and look for that new low under there. Please continue to trade accordingly with your moving averages. Right now on the 30-minute, you can see that the 50 starting to turn, the 20's already turned, the 4 and the 8 are heading strongly lower. This is going to be support, but if this starts to turn lower and it breaks, then I'm looking for this and lower. And I would suspect that it will. Now that's the 30-minute. If I go down to the 15-minute chart, you're going to see pretty much the same thing. Boom, and it's already broken the 200. So that's what we start to look for. As you move up in your time frame, you're looking to see where is that 200, because that is the last major support level as far as the moving averages are concerned, and breaks below that turn the picture negative. First on this 15-minute, coming up on the 30-minute, then on the hourly, and then on the daily. And if you get a negative picture all the way up to the daily, please don't fight this market. It will go in that direction. whether we want to fight it or not, it can blow you out in a heartbeat. Going down to the 5-minute, and we're going to see pretty much the same thing, broken well below. And now we got the 20 dropping below the 200. We're going to get the 50 if it gets down there. That's going to put this chart in alignment, likely with the 1 and the 2, and then again in the 15 and the 30. When you get charts in alignment, that and this in this case pointing down, sellers are going to have control of the market and go with them. That's where I'm going to leave it for today. There's no update tomorrow. The next update will be on Sunday, August 1st. But please take care tomorrow. Have a great trading day. There should be plenty of opportunities, and that would be in both directions. So be aware that bounces, if this sell-off is going to be as severe, bounces are going to be just as severe. They're going to really bounce up. They're going to really fly down. So play it well, have a good time, and we'll talk again on Sunday.